Spin that globe on your fingertips. There's no telling where I am.
So, hey Unheard Gems, today I am joined by Lostboycrow, and I actually just went to his concert, which was absolutely incredible.
Thank you so much.
So thank you so much for taking the
front
time.
row, I see you. I love that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. I'm super excited to have you on our show after 7 months now today, actually.
Wow, really?
Yep, 7 months ago today.
Happy 7 months.
Exactly. So, can you just give us a quick summary of how you got into music and sort of your background there?
Yes. I feel like I get asked this question a fair amount, and I probably answer it differently every time. I would say the main thing was my parents had a piano in the house. It was like a family friends that was gifted to us. It was kind of just always around. It was in the living room. It was this thing that was always around, and I wasn't unfamiliar with it, but I didn't really pursue it at all. It was just kind of this fun thing to like look around and figure out Disney songs on, whatever. And then I started really getting into the idea of singing and learning songs. When I got into high school, I switched schools and kind of got reacquainted with some old friends that had since like started bands and started growing their hair out and cool things like that. So I just followed suit, started growing my hair out, started going from learning other people's songs to writing my own, and fell in love with that immediately. I've always loved writing, and so that kind of just fit along with, as the more I played music, the storytelling was always something I cared about, even before the music, and so it was kind of this perfect marriage of being around other musicians and figuring out that I love to write songs. Nice one.
So then, what are your key sources of inspiration when you write? Because I feel like your songs are all super powerful and all equally amazing, but what are your inspirations for it?
I feel like so much of art is really about capturing the moments between moments and things that maybe seem mundane or insignificant, and learning how to crawl inside those little moments and examine what humanity is and what the human experience and then what your experience is in those little moments. I know that maybe it's vague, but that's the best way I know to describe it. Just kind of collecting these little moments, whether it's an interaction, at the grocery store, or something you overhear just eavesdropping out in public, or a lot of times a song title comes to me, just like a phrase, and I'll kind of sit with that. Like, that's something I have no idea what it is, but I'm excited to uncover it, and I feel like the universe and whatever you want to call it kind of gifts you those little things with the song titles or whatever that there's something there, and it's been gracious enough to gift you that, and I think that's the inspiration. You get to go uncover that from there. So horrible answer to your question, but I think you have to be able to find inspiration in everything.
So this is sort of more of like a technical detail, I guess. You have a series of EPs instead of one larger album. Why did you make the creative decision to do the series of EPs that kind of have one general theme? Are they supposed to be listened to in order to have a specific meaning?
Wait, what's the last part? Was it supposed to be
listened to in order to have a meaning?
This I could go on for quite some time on this one. it's I was at a place in my life and in my career, so to speak, where I had released many singles. I was very happy with them, but the songwriter and the storyteller in me has always wanted to make albums. It's something I did before I was Lostboycrow, with bands and such. I just think it's a really cool way for people to grow as they latch onto a body of work and be able to attach themselves to that and be able to get to know you and where you're at, and then that chapter closes and there's a new album, and I think it's a beautiful way to experience chapters of art. So I knew I wanted to do that, but we had been so consistent with releasing singles, and Spotify has played such a huge role in being able to tour and things like this, so it just made sense to make an album and break it down into 3 parts and give it to people with singles, but have everything connected. And so I wouldn't say there's a particular order that they need to be listened to in, but there was definitely some thought put into the order.
Yeah. So now, this is actually about tour. What has been your craziest or most fun memory from tour? Because you only have 2 stops left on this one.
I know. Wow. You'd think I'd have things prepared for this. I'm such a boring person, but honestly, the days that we've had off, like, all the shows have been so amazing, but there's been days off, like, for instance, Madison, Wisconsin comes to mind, where we're just in this new city none of us have been to, weren't really expecting much, and we're just treated so well, and had like a couple days off to really reflect. And you always, at least for me, I really love getting caught up in those moments, and I'm able to really reflect and appreciate the gravity of, like, wow, we get to come to these cities and play music, and that's amazing. We've had a few stories for sure on this. I don't know if they're camera appropriate, but it's a fun bunch of guys.
So then, do you have any advice that you wish you were given when you first started out in music that you would want to bestow on anyone else starting out?
Yeah, I think something that I'm learning a lot this year, kind of as I wrapped up Traveler and as I've recorded, songs and records since then, I think I've discovered it's really about diving deeper into who you are and letting that dictate the art. I think, especially when you feel like you're on the outside looking in as far as the industry goes or whatever, which so many of us do, especially starting out, you're very hungry to just be making music and having people write about you or being able to play shows. And I'm proud of all the work I've put out, but I think as true as the songs were to me, the focus until recently hasn't been about, like, okay, my sound and the content, for lack of a better word, and everything that I'm trying to show people. The best version of that is by diving deeper into who I am as a person, and so that's why I don't, have a certain way that I write songs, or I don't try and write a certain amount of songs, or even work on music every day, or nothing like that. I think it's really about the life experiences and allowing yourself the space to have the mindset to create. And I wish I would have learned that earlier on. I think sometimes early on you need to be a little ruthless, and the hustle's quite real to scrap and get where you want to be. But then you quickly realize that it's, people want a deeper version of you. People want to see themselves in you and experience their own worlds that they're creating within the world you're creating. So it's like it's such a pressure off yourself to be like, okay, I just need to focus on being the best version of myself, the truest version of myself.
I have one final question. This is definitely true for Unheard Gems because we're always trying to find newer artists, and especially ones that are exploding into the music scene. If you would recommend someone, who would you recommend? That's a loaded question.
Such a tough question. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. My man Josh over here with the wisdom.
AOE, buddy.
There's a group, I don't know anything about them. There's not much information out there. They're called AOE. If you type in capital AOE on Spotify, they're like the 13th thing to come up. There's no other AOE, but they're like way down there. So if you type it in, don't lose hope, scroll down, capital AOE. They are verified. Adele comes first, always. AOE, I think it's some really incredible songwriting. It's electronic music, but the truest test to me of great music is like you could play those songs acoustically, so it's really incredible. And they just happen to have really cool sounds and really interesting.
Best music video ever, by the way.
Check it out. Yeah, what's the music video for? Is it gone?
I'm Right This Time.
I'm Right This Time?
Yeah.
He sounds really confident. I'm Right This Time, the music video crazy, AOE. Check it out.
Best music I've ever seen.
Also, if you're not familiar yet in the States with the Zolas, check out the Zolas. Best band.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview, and thank you for putting on an amazing show.
Thank you.
And also, thank you for being my first in-person interview. Everything else is
Wow.
Skype or FaceTime, so we've
Wow,
broken
I like
that
it.
down.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Where it all goes, I see stars in my fingerprints, and I'm holding out my hand. You spin that globe on your fingertips. There's no telling where I am.